This is Sequelcast.
Hey, this is Matt with the Sequelcast, doing another movie sequel video game face-off, comparing the video games on Lethal Weapon for the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I hope you enjoy this because these games are pretty bad. They make the Aladdin games look amazing. Okay, here we go. Enjoy. So we're going to be talking about Lethal Weapon for the Nintendo Entertainment System and Lethal Weapon for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So let's start with talking about the Lethal Weapon game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This intro is a bit like Final Fight. In fact, the whole game is like Final Fight, and even though it was released to tie in with Lethal Weapon 3, it really has very little to do from that movie as far as I can tell. So I'm in this part in the beginning, playing as Murtaugh, just jumping around. And what do we have here? Well, Murtaugh can shoot with the gun. He's jumping on these logs, and you can either shoot or punch, but shooting's a lot better because the bad guys shoot at you too, and they can do all this damage. And when you shoot, you have limited ammo, which is the bar in the upper right-hand corner. And they die pretty quickly, and it takes you a long time to die. If you go off the screen, you can change. So I was Murtaugh, now I'm Riggs, Mel Gibson. And there's not much difference between the two. I mean, one difference that's pretty weird is that Murtaugh, the Danny Glover character, can pick up boxes, and Riggs can't. And maybe Riggs can jump a bit more, I'm not sure. But the gameplay is pretty similar, and while this game looks pretty terrible, I think it's a lot better than the Super Nintendo game, as we'll see in a little bit. This is very simple gameplay, again, like Final Fight, and you didn't see this much in the Nintendo Entertainment System, because the system had all these problems with moving all these characters on the screen at once. It would freeze, it would hitch a lot, as we just saw a little bit ago. And this is weird because it combines these kind of platforming elements from some of the more I don't know, it reminds me a bit, with the guns and everything, of an arcade game that was ported to the Nintendo Entertainment System called POW, Prisoner of War, which is pretty interesting. Not many villain types. These guys look kind of like Fat Albert jumping around in hot pink pants. And you can jump on those cars if you want to, it doesn't really do anything. Several times throughout the levels, you'll have to see this helicopter, of which you can only see the guns on it, and I just jump-kicked the helicopter and killed it. But you can also throw grenades at it. So you see there's a flickering thing, which was common in Nintendo games, and that things start disappearing from the foreground and the background. And old Riggs can't pick up a box, but Murtaugh, because he's too old for this shit, can. So you can pick up a box and throw it at people. Whoop-de-doo. But the aim sucks. It's not very useful. So why pick different people? Well, just because you can. I mean, this game wasn't two-player, and a big part of the Lethal Weapon film franchise has to do with Murtaugh and Riggs being best buddies, fighting together. So to not let you play as one or the other would not have made a lot of sense. We're going through the woods section here, and we're going to go to what looks like an Egyptian desert. A bit of a shocking transition. That makes very, very little sense. And you see, there's the pyramids. How did that happen? Did he get in a plane and travel Indiana Jones style? No. He just did it because he's too old for this shit, and he wants to travel. And uh-oh, there's this helicopter. You see, I'm having trouble getting to it. And Riggs right there just jump kicks it. Hits him with a grenade, actually. So that was kind of cool. The helicopter dropped a grenade, and I shot it back at him. You see, these enemy types are really outrageous, and I'm fighting with the fist option, which for Riggs is kicking, which makes sense as he's a karate master. But, you know, there's not much distance. It's not as good as a gun. And you apparently have some sort of ammo. In this part, I seem to be stuck. I'm not sure what's happening. I was supposed to jump on top of this building, but I wasn't able to. I can't scroll back. Maybe I can take a dip in this water right here. Try to kick the wall down. Whoop, nope, it's a pit. I lost energy. Can't jump over this, can't go through the door. Let's see if old Murtaugh can do anything. His jump kicking isn't doing anything either. Let me get around this. Whoop! Lost energy. Whoop! Losing energy. Game over. police department closed. Let's check out the Super Nintendo Lethal Weapon next. So here's the Super Nintendo Lethal Weapon game, which is different from the Nintendo one we just looked at. Simply called Lethal Weapon. Again, just like the Nintendo one, this was a tie-in for Lethal Weapon 3, and I believe the final stage of this game has to do a bit with Lethal Weapon 3, and there's a mission in there where you gotta find Leo Getz, the character played by Joe Pesci. But this one's different. The last one was a Final Fight side-scroller for the Nintendo, and this one is a Super Nintendo, kind of like Mario with a gun side-scroller. I should have said the Final Fight one was like a beat-em-up. And right here I'm Riggs in the police station. If you go to the side of the screen,
I'm too old for this.
you can be Murtaugh. Differences between the two: Murtaugh has a bigger jump, and Riggs has a bit more, packs more of a punch when he shoots with his gun. So this is the first mission. You can pick mission 1 through 4 in any order. So let's see how far we get. I'm not thinking very far. This is a pretty damn hard game. I've been playing video games for 25 years. Okay. So let's look at all this. As you can see, I'm Murtaugh, too old for this shit. On some kind of a dock. I'm jumping around. I can jump kick, and I can shoot bullets. I mean, this game's just really bad. It's very easy. There's a lot of... to get hit by bad guys, there's a lot of cheap hits. Trying to jump up and get on that ladder up above there. Maybe I can sneak around. I just shot that guy. That's kind of cool. But again, this has very little to do with Lethal Weapon. You could have... I think if they had kept the Final Fight gameplay of the Nintendo game that we looked at earlier and did it with Super Nintendo graphics, I think you'd have at least an okay game that would look better and be a bit more fun to play. Maybe refine the gameplay a bit. But this... who wants to play like a shitty Mario Brothers in which you die easy, and you get like a 4-minute time limit on a stage, which is nothing, as you'll soon find out. So again, we're facing these identical enemies with these kind of spears at this, I don't know if it's a warehouse or a fishing area, dock, I have no idea. Climbing up all these ladders, I'm not even sure what I'm really supposed to do from that mission briefing. There was no guidance once I got into the actual stage. And so I'm trying to climb up on this ladder to get past these people with the spears. And their hitbox is very big. See, I was even right below them and I still got knocked off. So you just got to be very cautious is the name of the game. But with this game, it's not even worth your time. Let's see if I can jump and hold onto the pipe. Nope! Oh, gonna fall and lose more energy. Let's try it again. Video games used to be like this a lot, especially video games based on movies. And I really question why the Super Nintendo game was like this. I did do some research, and there was like an Amiga Lethal Weapon game that's this exact same game. So this is probably just a port of the Amiga game. But still, why you wouldn't try and do a Final Fight game, or maybe a game like House of the Dead, where it's a shooting gallery, or like Doom. You could do Doom meets Lethal Weapon. You know, there's so many different things you could do. With such an exciting film franchise. As we're talking about on the show, Sequelcast, a podcast I do that this is a tie-in to, and if you go to sequelcast.com, you can check out all our past episodes. We're almost up to episode 100. I think we've done 82 regular episodes and about 10 special episodes on various topics. So we're climbing up these ladders and trying to avoid these guys again, and I did much better that time around. Now I gotta jump, hand onto the pipe, and land on the platform. So, come on, Riggs. There you go. Come on, buddy. Let's land on that. Okay. Oh, another pipe. Whoop. And there's a guy from on top dropping things, and you can't shoot him, because that's not cheap. Well, hanging on top of there. And shit! Falling down and died. I mean, I'm not very good at this game, but I'll just say this game is hard, this game is cheap. It's not worth anybody's time. Why? Just sit and watch Lethal Weapon movie. Why do you need to play a shitty game about it? I don't even know why I'm doing it. I'm just comparing the two because I think it's kind of a funny thing to do. And, you know, the animation is kind of cute. The character sizes are really small. And the music, especially the title screen music, while having nothing to do with the Lethal Weapon game, isn't that bad. So, I mean, technically this game is okay from a audio-visual standpoint. But as far as the game, it's terrible. At least the Nintendo one is fun on a shitty level. So overall, I prefer I can't even play more of this, guys. So, I mean, overall, I prefer the Nintendo one to the Super Nintendo one, but I wouldn't recommend you Sequelcast listeners play either of them. So, if you want to check out my show Sequelcast, go to sequelcast.com, and we're currently covering the Lethal Weapon quadrilogy for the month of March 2012. For the Sequelcast, this is Matt, and I hope you tune in next time when we do a video game face-off special on whatever franchise we're talking about next. All right, bye.
Love's a light to set you free. When it's gone,